You're very studious right now.
I'm also very frozen.
Yes, you are. Welcome back.
Your side. Welcome back
to the Lousy Show.
To the Lousy Show.
I just love your default photo. Just fantastic. Fantastic. Hope you all are having a good start to your week. It's Tuesday. So we got through Monday. That's what matters.
Yep.
Yeah. It's finally starting to warm up a little bit around here. Like today it was 70 degrees out.
Good God.
Yeah. It was heavenly.
So, meanwhile, here it's finally about to potentially snow.
Fair. Yeah, like all the weather apps were saying it was only like 58 degrees. And I walked to my truck, it says 70. And I was like, oh, it'll go down, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure, because I have a black truck, so it's probably going to, like, go down just because it's been baking in the sun. Nope, never went down.
No.
I was just like, sick. I'm okay with this. So, it was nice.
Yeah. I saw it was 80 back in Texas. Which is...
Already?
Yeah. And also, my in-laws were saying it was 80 again. I was like, holy crap, it just snowed there.
Yeah. Like, Texas, sometimes I miss Texas. Like, not for the weather. Definitely with the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I do miss Texas.
It's all right.
I miss the people, for me, I say that because I lived there for a much shorter period than you did.
Yeah.
Like, I get from your perspective that you may have probably just gotten worn out from it.
Yeah.
You've also been pretty, yeah. So you've been, but you like in perspective though, you've been pretty like nomadic most of your life.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I've seen a lot more spots.
Yeah.
And like, I have my specific things that I like. And while Texas scratched that like itch for a little bit, it isn't wholly what I like, which is where I'm at now.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if I were to ever move back, I don't think I'd ever move back to the same neighborhood, like, or same area. I'd probably pick a different spot.
Yeah. Dallas would be fun.
Dallas would be fun. San Antonio is fun too.
Yeah.
I love San Antonio.
You know what else we love?
A good old ad read. That was a good segue. Hey, usually it's me, but hey, you're on it. I'm down.
I also saw the time was coming up, so I was like,
that's fair.
Yep.
Y'all already know what it is. Into the AM. Proudly partnered with them to bring y'all the dopest threads possible, from graphic tees like this, hats, jackets. I was rocking my bomber pretty much throughout this entire Arctic breeze. You can check it all out. Links in the description and the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy, where you can do what when you go there, Sam?
So if you go there and pick out some stuff, they're almost always running a sale. And right now I just saw they're running up to 50% off site wide. And if you go in and pick a bunch of cool things, put them in your cart, and then type in our code LOUSY at checkout, it's LOUSY for the uninoculated, you get an extra 10% on top of whatever sale they're running. So definitely make sure, go check that out. Get some cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, flannels, underwear. Unfortunately not socks, which we found out. But maybe one day they'll have some socks.
Yeah, we actually found that out last week during Tfue.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to think of it the other way.
Yeah.
But absolutely, go check it out right now. Again, intotheam.com/lousy. Link is in the pinned comment and in the description. Go check it out right now. While you're listening to us talk, go see if you like anything on there. They have styles for everybody. And, just go show them some love. And also, while you're here, before you actually go there, since you got to scroll down a little bit to go to that link, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell icon to stick around and get more lousy content from us. We upload 3 times a week, and we greatly appreciate you sticking around. We appreciate all the lousy listeners who've been subscribing lately. I'm trying to say that 5 times fast. We do appreciate every single one of you, so thank you so much for that. But today, this is the podcast. This is the meat and potatoes of this show. This is where the lousy listeners really, like, we know who the
core.
The core, the core comes in. Careful when you do that. No Roman salutes, dog. I don't
Hey,
want to
no,
see that happen.
I'm not sticking my hand out nowhere. Like, I'm just putting it right back down to the side.
Yeah, you throw your heart right back
Yeah.
in your fucking chest.
No, I keep it in my pocket, nice and safe. I don't throw it out into the ether.
This is where the core hangs out, you know. Like we do our fun Reddit stuff on Tifu Thursdays and Am I the Asshole Saturdays. But the podcast is always a good spot to really get to know Sam and I and hear us, you know. You get our commentary on the other episodes, but this is where you get like the real raw, you know, raw. Next question. So if you've watched the show for a long time, you know that before Tifu was a thing, we on the podcast would occasionally. Why do you have a super?
I got this like little strand of hair that was sticking on my hat. It was bothering the shit out of me. Sorry.
I saw. It was just like
I fixed it.
We like to, or used to rather, do some Reddit dives on the podcast.
Yep.
Whether it was Zillow Gone Wild,
We should do that
or
again soon.
we should, or even Tifu back in the day before that became its own thing. And Sam, you had a great idea. So tell the people what we're doing today.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of doing a similar thing. We love Reddit. We've said that time and time again. And so why not go on to another subreddit and see what it has to offer? And this time we are doing confessions. It's r/confession singular. There is r/confessions plural, but that one has less people, therefore less posts. So we did confession. These are my confession. And yeah.
Just when I thought I said all that I could say.
I don't know any words. Just these are my confessions.
Shorty said she got one on the way. These are my confessions.
No, confession singular, because we're not on confessions. We're on confession.
Let us know in the comments. Did you bump Usher back in the day? I did. I 1000% did. I will
think
proudly
everybody's
say that.
At least bumped one song every now and then, you know.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
You got some bots.
You know, that reminds me, this is a great thing to drop in the comments, actually. Answer this in the comments. What is and or was that one? Because, well, what was? Because if you're our age, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure anymore when it comes to music. Everybody listens to everything.
Yep.
But what was that one guilty pleasure band you listened to back in the day? Drop that in the comments.
Love to hear some of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mine, because of who we hung out with all the time. This is my confession. So we used to hang out in a very, very aggressively niche friend group that primarily listened, not even primarily, only listened to metal. And not just that, but like some of the people in this group were elitists of metal. Like if you listen to anything else, you might as well have, yeah, you are chastised, cast out. You're
turn in your trip pants and eyeliner. You're off the force.
I want every single chain on them pants right back in the locker, son. But no, like so
chained.
For me, I had two bands that were my guilty pleasure bands, and that was Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy.
Yep.
And if anybody back then ever heard me listening to that, I would have been chastised, cast out like a leper.
Some any of those elitist people, yes, there were plenty of other people that would bop along right to it with you, but
oh sure,
yeah. So,
but those are mine. What was yours?
I mean, I didn't really care. I would just listen to what I listened to. I remember Ludacris was one.
Luda!
I don't know words. Don't ask me to tell words. But I remember buying the album with the song "Fuck You" on it, or "F You," whatever. Right? For the
okay.
And my parents saw it and were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "It's a CD I like." And they were like, "No," which surprised the shit out of me, honestly, because they're very open to music, right? But I guess they didn't really consider Luda just yelling "fuck you" a lot or "f you" on the radio edit.
That's fair. That's very
So,
fair.
which I kind of get that part now looking back, but at the time I was very mad. So that was like my. I remember after I kind of got into the whole pirating thing, that one would secretly go onto the MP3 player.
Which is funny because meanwhile, if you think about it, like I remember your dad introducing us to
Blood Simple.
Blood Simple.
Yep.
And just like the aggression behind those tracks.
The
and I
song
like,
was straight hate. Like
Yeah.
that was the first song, at least I ever heard, and then I think I showed it to you.
mhm.
And he showed it to me because like we had started getting into heavier ish things, but like, you know, we were starting
Yeah.
into rock like Green Day and
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy and, you know, like other shit like that. But, and then there's a couple songs, you know, and like Nickelback had some kind of heavier songs. And so I think he was just, so I think he was just like, oh, you're going that way anyway. So really Dad was the one that got us into the metal scene. I mean, I think we would have gotten there eventually, but he definitely gave us a strong, swift push.
I would say a push is saying it lightly.
Yeah.
He Sparta kicked us into it.
Mhm.
I remember hearing that song for the first time because like a lot of the stuff we listened to was still metal, but like we went through our phases of like black metal and folk metal and just other stuff, and we never really had been like introduced to anything like the song Straight Hate. And then just hearing it for the first time, and I was like, "This is where my heart will reside now."
I wonder, can I play like 2 seconds of it? You think, and we'll be all right? Like just to hear that like initial, just like, bah, you know. We'll look into it. If so, I'll put it right here, and it's done. All right.
I love how we both just froze for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
Here, Andy's coming. Oh my god. Nah, dude, that was the good stuff back in the day, man. I'm gonna have to go back and like.
I'm gonna jam some Blood Simple after this for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But those are our confessions. It's
Yep.
time for us to dive into these.
Mhm.
Sam, since this was your idea, we have 5
man.
stories, 5 confessions. You dive in first, buddy.
All right, cool. Our first one here is I decided to provide myself with my own company benefit. Interesting. My boss had a bunch of free tickets for rides at a local fun place that had miniature golf, race cars, and other things you could do all day. They were sitting on her desk. Boss was an asshole. Did the boss's job for years without getting paid for it or any type of promotion that had been promised. Before I went home one day, the day before the tickets were due to expire, I took the whole stack. I also took the next day off work, and it was my birthday. Oh, nice. It was a huge stack. I spent my entire birthday riding the rides at that amusement facility and racing the go-karts until my butt couldn't take anymore. Pause. It was glorious, and I'm not sorry. Hell yeah.
Can we just talk phrasing?
Yeah. Let's talk phrasing for a second. like
Look, for us, it's still fresh. Go watch last week's Tfue. You'll understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Phrasing, not great, but otherwise, glad you had fun on your birthday, and fuck your boss. But phrasing,
Yeah, bosses. Yeah, phrasing.
yeah, they're not a good
bosses like that. I'm not gonna get philosophical with it, but I read something lately where it's like people don't lose jobs or people don't quit their jobs. They quit the work environment.
Yeah,
because
or
most people love what they do.
Yeah.
But like they had a pie chart and it was showing like based on surveys like what was the reason they left from the work environment, and like a massive chunk of this pie was shitty bosses.
Yep. Oh,
so like,
I'm sure it'd be almost a majority. You know,
yeah.
Like it'd be up there for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, look, that's a hell of a confession. Tame, albeit tame, but
it's a perfect rhyme.
It really is.
It really is, because like, how do they know when it expired? You just be like, oh yeah, I tossed them. They're expired.
They'll never know.
They'll never know. They'll
honestly,
never
like,
know. It's perfect. Just thinking of that Homelander clip. It's perfect.
Down to the last minute detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering, like, because we've talked about our jobs before to some degree. I'm trying to think back, like, when you and I worked together. Oh, wait, yeah, no. I was like, did we ever have shitty bosses? Yeah, no, 100%. The one that got fucking arrested.
Yeah. That's
I forgot
an
about
easy
that.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the easiest one. The one that got arrested.
There were a couple others. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if I think you were there at the same time. Our DM at GameStop.
I never met the DM at GameStop.
Oh, okay. Yeah. God, he was a dick. He was the reason I quit. Like,
yeah, no, I never met him. Trying to think. Most of my bosses have actually been good.
Most of them, yeah. For you.
Yeah, I remember. I'll say this. I worked at Lowe's in high school.
I so forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of jobs.
That threw you back.
Yeah.
I worked at Lowe's, and I was the facility services associate, aka I cleaned the shitters. And I remember my boss, like, everybody reported to the same store manager. And this guy, like, the best way I can describe him is Danny DeVito's penguin. like he was built like that. Like he egg-shaped motherfucker. But he always tried to act like it was more serious than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like any situation. And I remember, so I went from facility service associate to sales in indoor lawn and garden because they saw me helping customers one day because, like, the guys that were supposed to be in there weren't there. And I mean, I got kudos for it, like, cool, but they were like, hey, you could really sell. Like, you should definitely get a job over there. I'm like, cool. I'm like, does that come with like commission and stuff? Like, yeah, if you sell, like, you know, lawn equipment and whatnot, that you get commissions. Great. And then, like, my boss, the store manager, laid it out to me of like, yeah, no, you'll be able to get your commissions. You'll be able to match your pay. Like, cause I as a facility service associate, I was getting paid more at entry than someone who's been in inside lawn and garden for over a year. So I was like, okay, as long as I get my pay and I'm getting commission, hell yeah. I get the job. And dude just straight up was like, I never said that. I never said that. You're calling me a liar. You're calling me a liar. I never fucking said that. Like, okay, Dr. Eggman, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I quit that. I actually quit that job to go play a show. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, because I rolled up in my car wearing my Disturbed t-shirt that was like aggressively Disturbed and cut off jean shorts and my DCs. I had called in telling them I was sick that day. I pulled up, walked into their like locker room that they have, the break room, grabbed my vest, and they were like, you're not supposed to be wearing that here for work. And I was like, who the fuck said I was working? And walked out, went in, and I found Mr. Eggman, and I was like, hey, fuck you, I'm out. And just got in my car and left. And I don't ever plan on working at Lowe's again. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Definitely not for Dr. Eggman, but
no. All right, let's move on. I've gone too far. All right, next confession. I do literally nothing at work for 7 months now, and nobody has noticed. My day is pretty boring. I get to work, I open my PC, and I stare at my screen for 8 hours straight. Most days I have absolutely nothing to do, and the days there's some work, it takes at most a couple hours of my time. I work in an open space, but nobody has noticed, so I guess I'm really good at seeming busy. My bosses respect me and even thank me for my work. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep it going, but I'm going to exploit the situation the best I can. It's also my first job in an entry role without much room for progress. So, I mean,
I just say enjoy while you can.
yeah.
You know, like, that's definitely not going to last forever. But, you know, hey, if you're just getting a free paycheck, you know, for just doing like a little bit, then fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not your responsibility. Like, as some jobs, at least, it's not necessarily your responsibility to go looking for the work. You know, sometimes,
Correct.
like typically they take the work to you. So, you know, if they're out of work to do, then fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, at first I was good. Like the moment I saw it's also my first job, I was like, oh, makes sense. You haven't gotten initiated yet. Then I saw entry role without much room for progress, and I'm like, oh, well,
could be like a data entry or something like that. You know, I'm just trying to think of like what's on computers that, you know, it would just depend. So like it very much could be something like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's two roads to this. You can either A, continue what you're doing and just do your work as it comes across your desk, get it done quickly, enjoy the rest of your day. Or option two, you know, run the risk. And admittedly, this is a risk. There are a lot of companies out there that take advantage of hard workers. So if you continue to like ask for work, they're going to just dump more and more on you until you're swamped.
Yeah.
I would say try and be a good judge of character of the company. If the company seems good, I'm going to be more willing to invest my time in, you know, providing a good work at a faster pace.
Yeah.
But if it's a shitty company, like if it's a like a major conglomerate and you're just like, oh, this is just I'm working for the man, like legally I can't say it.
But and yeah, like I said, enjoy it at least for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as you're actually getting the work that is provided to you done, which it sounds like it is, but you know, if you're just like one of those freeloaders that's just sitting there like pretending to do something that didn't like that's actually at my current job. They said the previous person they had hired, they got him right before the 90-day mark, because they literally would just like it's partially work from home, partially in the office, and whenever they were at home and also in the office, they wouldn't do anything. They would just be told that they got trained on it, or sorry, they would tell somebody that they got trained on something, and then when something came up, they would be like, "Nah, I didn't get trained on that," and then they wouldn't do it. And so they're just like, "All right, bye."
Man, this takes me back to another job I worked. I can't divulge the name. The reason being is I don't know who all is still there.
Yeah.
And so I don't
think it's also
want
just
there
good
to be
for your own personal privacy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I'll say this. This particular place had everyone go remote. And it got to a point in which a lot of the employees were doing the bare minimum based on upper management and how they were acting, kind of similar to the last story, but also with this one as well. Because they were having these people like give them access to their home networks to monitor, not hardware monitor, network monitor what they were doing to see if they were on their cell phones while working.
Fuck a whole lot of that.
Or like playing like Xbox or things like that. So like imagine for a second, let's just be fair here for a second. Imagine for a second you clock out for lunch, right? You go watch like Netflix or something. Someone misconstrues the time and you get fired because you were watching Netflix and they didn't realize you were on lunch. Like that's fucked. Amongst other things, like I don't think anybody should be able to see what the fuck I have going on my network. Period. Like, point blank. Period. So,
and maybe not quite to the same degree, but there was a couple jobs that when I was applying for jobs, not for these specific ones, because once I saw this, I was like, no. Was that you'd have to be on camera the entirety of your shifts while you're working at home. Like, no.
That's an invasion of privacy.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching the video so far. While you're here, click the subscribe button to become a Lousy listener. And also click that join button. For $2.99, you can have access to exclusive emotes and also get some cool features like interacting with Joe and I. Also, click the link in the description to join our Discord. Back to the video.
This is my confession.
This one is, I'm the guy that used to put extra McNuggets in your order.
End it there.
Blessings. This should be our president.
Agreed.
If you ordered 4, I'd still put 4. If you ordered 6, I'd put 8. If you ordered 10, I'd put 13. If you ordered 20, I wouldn't even count. I just straight up filled the box up to the brim since no manager would ever notice that. Edit, forgot the most important part, used to shove so many fries into the box while every other employee used to ration. Used to put so much to the point where the box would start tearing on the side.
We don't have to spend much time on this at all. This individual has a nice seat sitting in heaven waiting for them.
Yep. Right next to whoever the head honcho is.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm
sorry, just real quick. First comment is, I did the same once upon a time, but then somebody complained that they got too many nuggets and I got in trouble for it. So we've seen God here, and then we've seen the devil in that Karen. The dichotomy of Reddit
posts about getting too many McNuggets. Okay. All right. Moving on. We're going to, I don't know. No. I don't need a Karen bringing me down to my McNugget glory. All right. I'm going to do this now. This is my confession. I, 20 male, have been hiding tens of thousands from my parents for years. Confession. At the start of high school, I was pretty broke, as many high school kids are. To gain more freedom, I worked hard to start my career as a 3D artist, and I was making a couple hundred every few weeks at best during most of high school. Even with how little I made compared to how hard I worked, my mom and stepdad would pressure me to chip in. Sorry, I was going to say chip on. Chip in for the groceries and mortgage payments. Keep in mind, we aren't poor or anything. We were middle class. And they just wanted more financial freedom for themselves so they can consistently go on luxury vacations. I also have a few siblings now in the higher years of high school who they also do the bare minimum for. Not bad enough to where it's child neglect, but definitely not great parenting, considering none of us could focus on our studies while having to work. The creative industry is difficult and unforgiving, and I put blood, sweat, and tears into my work to get where I'm at this age. I'm not going to let them pressure me into making any big contributions to their finances so that they can keep going on excessive vacationing sprees. Only me and my girlfriend know how much I really make. I have been saving tens of thousands of dollars without anyone else around me knowing. One day they'll find out how much I have, but for now I will bide my time and take advantage of as little financial burden as possible. Once they do, I'll simply move out and be done with them. Edit. Thanks a lot for the advice and comments, everyone. Just to clarify, I do of course take care of my own expenses and my siblings, since I wouldn't want them to be overburdened like I was. I am not pitching into the household bills because they don't deserve it. They are very, very much fully capable of handling everything comfortably if they just tone down their luxurious lifestyle, and I would just be reinforcing their irresponsible behavior by helping more.
Damn.
I agree with the first comment, and this is my only thought that I had to this entire thing. It's your money. It's no one's business but your own. End of story.
Yeah. Especially as you being a full adult at this point, like they can't take anything from you. There's no contract signed, and good on you for putting in all that effort and getting a bunch of money for all your hard work. So I don't think you need to necessarily share that if they're just going to go blow it all,
Yeah. So I agree.
Yeah, it's simple, but pretty mild confession.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to say, truly. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, money is money. It's your money. No one else needs to know. End it there.
Mm-hmm. It's not mild though.
Anything that has a pink tag on it.
Yep. And this one is, I put itching powder in my roommate's fleshlight. Roommate was addicted to his fleshlight and would put it in the dishwasher. Ew. I tried to talk to him about it many times. Nothing worked. Took matters into my own hands, and it gave him an infection. He had to get circumcised and thinks it's because of the dishwasher soap or salt. I regret doing this. Holy shit. Edit, let me address some of the major points and questions here. So this started off very short and then they added on a whole lot. We lived in a small flat with one bedroom. I never used the dishwasher. He turned it inside out when he put it in. In the beginning, he would leave it to soak in the bathroom sink. I protested vehemently, and as some have suspected here, I couldn't afford to move. He would leave it on our bedside. He would leave it on or beside, not bedside. Duh. He would leave it on or beside his bed after use. So I had this thing in my sight every time I was in our room. He'd use it while he thought I was sleeping too. He had poor hygiene to begin with, messy fella. He was coddled at home and his mom cleaned up after him. He'd come in it and just go to sleep without cleaning himself. We shared an internet package which would be depleted before the month ended because of his porn addiction. I tolerated this for about 4 months because my conflict avoiding ass just couldn't be aggressive enough. Throwing it away would have made things worse for me. As far as he's concerned, it was all his own doing. But the shameless slopping in the middle of the night was unbearable. He even took it with when he went home some weekends, and I'm sure that he didn't wash it until he came back to the flat because he probably wouldn't have been able to hide a cleaning session from his folks. It took about 2 weeks for his dick to get bad enough that he went to the doctor. But even after the itchy first use, I noticed he was going to the bathroom a lot. He still used it a couple times, which must have made it much worse. He suspected that I might have used it and given him an STD throughout it because he wasn't sleeping with anyone. I wasn't either, but he had to ask. He moved out at the end of the semester, and I saw him on campus occasionally. Our parents met at church, and his mom is a devout Christian. Telling her crossed my mind, but that's a bitch move. Man, I can't talk on this one. She basically administered his all his affairs, which is how she found out. Wait, what? She basically administered whatever. I wasn't there when the handover took place, but I know she threw it away. She made him see a psychologist, and he had to go home every weekend. My quality of life has drastically improved, and his too, so I hear. The itching powder was from one of those party stores where you buy outfits and gags, etc., and has more like cotton wool than powder, but still called powder. This was a few years ago, and what reminded me of it was seeing his mom in the shop, and the shame hit her again when she saw me. Anyways, fuck you, Chris.
Not all heroes wear capes.
No, just hoods, apparently. Oh, but not anymore.
Not anymore. That's, oh my God, dude. So foreskin. All right. Like, I just like this, okay, look, y'all, hopefully everybody watching this is grown ass adults. Look, nobody else needs to know what kind of toys you got. They especially don't need to be subject to them in the communal cleaning area. All right. Yeah. Learn how to clean them motherfuckers in private. All right. Don't be nasty. Don't fuck you, Chris. That's where we end this. Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah, as simple as that. Just fuck you, Chris.
That's it.
And if you're a Chris out there, it might not necessarily be you, but if you're this guy, then fuck you.
Yes. Yes. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll see y'all on Thursday.
Bye.